Hey guys, welcome back. It's Andrea from Create a Canvas. Are you ready for some Shark Week? We're gonna get sharky today. So we're gonna be doing a paper cut and glue activity. There's gonna be a little bit of painting involved also. So lots of different things we're gonna be doing today to create your shark friend. Free hugs. So what you're going to need is you're going to need 3 different colors of construction paper. You're going to need a blue piece of construction paper, a black piece of construction paper, and a white piece of construction paper. You're going to need some tissue paper. So your mom might have some with her wrapping paper. So she might have a couple cool colors if she has some blue or green, blue and white, but you're just going to need a little bit of tissue paper. So get yourself a couple little strands of it. You're going to need some watercolor or black paint. So we just need either a gray or black watercolor or black paint, whatever you have to use. You're going to need scissors and you're going to need a glue stick and a pencil to draw with. So, are you ready to create your fishy friend, your shark? I am. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to draw out the shape of our shark and we're going to paint it so we can have time for it to dry before we're ready to glue it to our paper. So, you're going to take your white paper and you're going to fold it in half like a hamburger. Okay, we're going to use half of this paper for his teeth and half of this paper for his body. So what we're going to do first is you're going to cut right on that line, cut it in half. So you have 2 pieces of white paper. Okay, so once you have it cut, we're going to fold both of our papers in half again, but this time it's going to be the hot dog way, like a hot dog. So both your white pieces of paper that we just cut in half, we're going to fold in half again. So we have 2 hot dog buns. Okay, one's going to get set aside for teeth. We're going to start on the body. So you're going to keep it folded in half. You're going to take your pencil and we're going to draw the shape of his body. I'm going to draw it in marker so you can see it better, but I want you to draw it in pencil in case you need to make changes or erase. So we're going to start at the very bottom of our paper and you're going to come up along the edge of your paper, and as you get closer to the top, you're going to give it a rounded point. So that's the shape that you're drawing on your paper. And this is a symmetry exercise. Symmetry means whatever is happening on one side, it's going to be the exact same on the other side. So when we cut this, it's going to be a complete shape of our shark head. Okay, so once you have that done, you're going to go ahead and get your watercolors ready. Get a cup of water and a paintbrush. I'll wait for you to go get your cup of water and get yourself ready. How many of you guys can name different types of sharks? Who knows what the scariest, most dangerous shark is? Great white shark. There's also other types of sharks like tiger sharks. Tiger sharks live around Hawaii, and that's where I'm from, Hawaii. And usually in October and November is the time of the year where you have to be a little bit more careful when you're in the water because that's shark season. They call it Sharktober. All right, so you guys should be ready with some watercolors, a brush, some water. We're going to use either a gray watercolor. If you don't have gray watercolor, just pick up some black and it's going to turn gray and use a lot of water. The more water you use in watercolors, the lighter it looks. So I'm actually just going to come right in the middle of my gray and my black just to show you that either color will work. And I'm going to fill in. I'm doing a pretty light coat on my shark because we want this to dry today in the next 10 or 15 minutes. So we don't want to put too much water, because the more water we put, the longer it's going to take to dry. But we want to make sure we have a gray shark and not a black shark. But it could have some stripage. So you can see mine. There's some variety in here, and that was not on purpose. It's just that was the color that I picked up at that time. But that's okay, because it'll look more like shark skin. Or you could have a tiger shark, which they do have kind of stripes like that. They look like a tiger. Okay, so once you have it completely colored in, you don't need to color this outside part because we're going to cut this out. We're just going to paint the main shape. Go ahead and put this outside or put it by a fan. Put it someplace where it's going to dry really quick and easy. And we are going to start creating our background. So we're going to get our blue piece of construction paper and our different colors of tissue paper. So tissue paper, if you don't know what that is, it's the stuff that comes in presents. So when you open up your bag of presents, tissue paper is the stuff inside. It's for parties. So what we're going to do is you're going to get yourself a couple strands. I have a blue strand and a green strand, and they're a little bit different size. But I'm going to line up the tops of them, one side of them. And I'm going to measure my paper because it's basically going to go along the end of my paper. This piece of tissue paper I can fold in half. Oh, I just got it wet. I can fold it in half and get extra layers of ocean. This is going to be the layers of our ocean that our shark's going to be hiding behind. So if you can fold it in half like this, do it. And what you're going to do is when all the edges are touching each other, all the same height, you're going to take your scissors and you're going to cut one long line, but it's a wavy line like the top of waves. And this is going to take a little bit of patience. You got to hold your pieces down tightly. Mom might need to help you hold while you cut. But you're cutting a wavy line on top. Okay, I also want to separate. If you folded, you want to separate them by cutting them off a little bit on the edge. And now we're ready to glue. But we're not going to glue right at the very top. So here's how it will look. And our shark is going to fit into this pocket down here. So we want to leave some up here that's not glued so that we can fit our shark down in later. So first thing we're going to do, get your glue stick. And right along the side of the paper and the very bottom edge, get a good amount of glue on there. And start with your first piece of paper. Now, when we put down our tissue paper, we're going to put them at all different levels. So they can go off the bottom because we're going to cut off the bottom and keep it all the same. But the waves, you're going to layer them. I'm going to show you what I mean. I'm going to go on to another color. I'm going to put some glue in between the layer in the same way, along the bottom and along the sides. But you can see I'm making different layers. So one was a little bit higher, one was a little lower. I'm going to do that again. I'm going to go a little bit lower and a little bit lower. So I get different waves. And I'm switching back and forth in my colors. So I'm going from green to blue to green to blue for some variety. But you can design this however you want. Be creative. You could even, if you have like shells at home or some sand, when you're all done with this, you can even add more pizzazz to this. You can add some sand at the very bottom, especially if you're with us from Hawaii, you have sand at your disposal, meaning you can get it easily. So don't take too much, just what you need for a quick little art project. Okay, so I have my 4 layers of tissue paper glued on. Now you see the back, it kind of looks silly. I need to cut off all the extra paper. So you turn it over, look from the back, and just go ahead and cut anything that is not your blue construction paper. So the only thing you should see from the back is your blue construction paper. And voila. you have an ocean background scene. You could also, if you wanted to elaborate on this project, you can use construction paper and cut out some fish or some plants and stick them down into your ocean and give it some extra pizzazz. But I'm here for the shark day. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to get our big black piece of paper and we're going to draw an oval shape on it. An oval shape is almost like a circle, but it's a little bit longer. So we're going to draw an oval shape. There's my oval shape. And then I'm going to cut it out with my scissors. This is your shark's mouth. So kind of have to be a little bit careful about what size you're making this oval, because we know that sharks have big mouths, but we don't want it to be the same size as our shark. It's not that big. So and I have bigger hands than you, but mine is a little bit, it basically goes from my wrist to this first line on my fingers. If yours is a little bit smaller than that, that's okay. So get that cut out. That's the next important part of our shark face. And then the most important part of a shark, if you didn't know, is its teeth. So we're going to do the teeth next. We're going to cut those out, and then by then our shark should be dry enough that we can cut it and start gluing it together. So we're going to get the first piece of white paper that we were cutting from the very, very beginning. We cut a piece in half, we folded it, we cut it in half again, we folded it. So now what we're going to do is we're going to keep it folded, but we're going to cut from the side that is open. So the open side is where we're going to start cutting from. And what we're going to do is we are going to cut little triangles. You're going to cut about 10 little triangles. And when I cut triangles, all I do is I go one direction, meet it from the other direction. One direction, meet it from the other direction. And this is good practice to do different textures. You can decide how big or little you want his teeth to be. But I cut about, here's my little shark teeth. I have a bunch of them. I cut about 10 to 12 of them. You don't have to go crazy, but if you're having fun cutting all your triangles, you can add it like confetti around the top of him, like he lost a bunch of teeth, or it could be like a party of, you can paint these and make it confetti around him like it's a shark party. Always be creative with your art. Okay, so I have some shark teeth. If you're still cutting shark teeth, which you probably are, just pause me. My shark is ready to cut. So when you come back, the next step we're going to do is we're going to cut our shark. So make sure he's nice and dry, because it's really hard to glue to wet paper. It doesn't usually work very well. So if he's not dry, take a break, go get a snack, make sure he's dry before you cut him and glue him down. But I'm ready. I have my shark cut out. I have my mouth for my shark ready. I have his teeth cut out. But before I glue all his teeth and things on, I'm going to glue him into the water. So put the teeth aside. Keep them in a safe little pile so they're easy to get to in a second. Take your glue stick. Glue his body. Slide it right down into your tissue paper. And you're going to see a little shadow of him behind, which is kind of cool. You see him coming from underneath the water. And now it looks like a submarine or a torpedo. We don't know, we can't tell that's a shark yet, but we will soon. Okay, so the next thing we need to do is put on his mouth. So his mouth is going to do the same thing. It's going to go down into the pocket. So put some glue on top of his body, right where his mouth's going to go. and tuck it down into the pocket just a little bit because we're going to see the bottom of his teeth. Okay, now we're ready to start getting some teeth on here. So go ahead, take your glue stick and do right along the very top of the black line and right along the bottom of your ocean line. And we're going to start picking up his teeth and we're going to glue them. It would be funny to give him a missing tooth every so often. How old is your shark? Is he an old man shark? So basically I'm going to start going around and I am gluing my teeth on the top and the bottom. So how many types of sharks have you guys come up with so far? I gave you 2. You have your great white and your tiger shark. Who's come up with some other ones? Share. What else did you guys think of? The only other kind of shark that I've actually seen 2 sharks in my life living in Hawaii. I've seen a hammerhead shark and I've seen a reef shark. But I've never seen a tiger shark, thank God. And thank God I've never seen a great white shark. But in Hawaii, up on the North Shore, you can go. It's not very nice to do it, but you could go and you can swim with sharks in a cage if that's your thing. Maybe one day. It's not my thing. All right, so we have our shark, but he's missing some eyes and he's also missing his little nose marks up on the top. So we're going to put some eyes on him and we're going to put some nose marks. So I'm going to find some black and white paint. You can do this with marker. You can do this with crayons. If you have Google Eyes at home, that would be even cooler. I don't have Google Eyes. But what I'm going to do with some black paint, I basically just got black paint and got my lid. And I'm going to take my pinky finger and I'm going to give him 2 little eyeball dots. Then I have to let those eyeball dots dry. And I can do the same thing with white, but with my white, I'm going to use the back handle of my paintbrush and I'm going to do a little dot inside my black dot. And I have shark eyes. Okay, so I want to see you guys get creative. Add some pizzazz to this. What's around him? What's below him? Get creative and send me your pictures and I'll put them in the gallery. I can't wait to see them. I hope you guys had fun getting sharky today. I'll see you soon. Bye.